How's it going, my lovely Death Disciples? I am the Shattered Reaper, and today there are going to be a couple of things I'm going to address with this video. First of all, it is my birthday, but that's actually not one of those things that I wanted to do, but it does relate to another thing that is the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to let everybody know that for my birthday, I am going to be hosting a stream on YouTube as according to popular vote. I will be streaming on YouTube rather than on Twitch, even though one of you did leave a comment saying that because YouTube did suspend my other channel, that it probably would be better that I stream on Twitch instead. Sorry, there was a little bit of dirt near my camera, and I just couldn't help but want to just try and wipe that off. Anyway, so while I definitely do understand, but most people probably would find it easier to watch me on YouTube or to just watch me stream on YouTube, and that makes sense. But for those of you who do later want to see me stream on Twitch, do let me know, and I will be more than happy to leave a link down in the description below of my Twitch. So I don't really use it all that often, and I don't really know how often I'm going to be streaming, but I definitely do want to leave that as an option for if I do want to stream. So if you do want to follow me on there, then feel free to. And I also I'm going to be streaming League of Legends, and I'm going to be streaming Teamfight Tactics. That is going to be at 3 p.m. Pacific time, so that'll be in about less than 3 hours, less than 2.5 hours, so about exactly 2 hours and 14 minutes from now. It's 12:46 p.m. for me right now. So I kind of want to be 3 p.m. because I want to be able to leave some options for any viewers who are on the East Coast of the U.S. at the very least to be able to still be awake and up to watching a stream if they want to. So, you know, I just kind of thought 3 p.m. was a fair enough time, really. And I am also going to be streaming with a special little friend here, in case you can't tell. A little bit of birthday wine so that, you know, I can get reasonably wasted, depending on the definition of reasonably. Maybe something that doesn't give me too much of a hangover, I suppose. Anyway, so yeah, that is the plan. It's going to be doing League of Legends, and I'm also going to be doing Teamfight Tactics, and I'm also going to be using G-Loot a little bit. It's kind of a new service where it's sort of like supposed to be a semi-esports for average players where you can compete with other players in certain challenges or just achieve some solo challenges so that you can earn some money. Sometimes they require a little bit of a fee, so it's a little bit of a gamble, but it's very small gambling. Like, you can have some small rewards and you don't really pay all that much. I already have a little bit of money deposited. I did lose a little bit of money from some of the challenges because I lost them. But it wasn't really that much, and I did also gain some money back, so I made up for most of the small damage that was actually done, so really, I kind of only lost about, like, $1.50 so far. But anyway, so I am going to be using G-Loot as a way to sort of give me sort of that little bit of, like, oh, hey, I achieved something, and I feel like it would also be entertaining for the audience of being like, oh, hey, Shattered achieved something. And it's like going to be something along those lines or something. I don't know. Anyway, so that is what I'm going to be doing. Again, it's going to be at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that would be like, I believe, 6 Eastern Standard Time, I believe. Or I think it was 6, actually. I think I remember it was like 3 hours ahead on the Eastern. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, that is what I remember. I basically had that kind of, I kind of had to deal with that being a norm for Eastern Standard Time because my ex was on the East Coast, and that's basically how I go about it and try to remind myself. But anyway, enough about that. On to the second thing I wanted to address. So the second thing I wanted to talk about is basically just a little bit of self-advertisement indulgence. So just ways to help support me and to be able to allow me to do some work so that I can get some financial gain, I suppose one could say, because I don't really have a job at the moment. I don't have a stable income, and while I did get some birthday money, I would be more than willing to still be able to work for some of my money so that I can at least earn stuff, you know. So I do have, and also just for like so that I can afford some games. Maybe I could also be ready for any sort of financial situations like right now. I do have a sort of medical statement I still need to pay, so I am going to be doing that, but I also kind of want to be able to try and gain back some of the losses I'm going to get. But anyway, enough about that. So, anyway, why don't I go ahead and switch to the display. Right here, you can see my Twitter thread, which has some of my commission info. I'm going to be providing a link for that in the description below. And I did recently update my prices, so I kind of drew this as my own personal commission sheet, because commissioning someone else to work on a commission sheet when I don't really have a job didn't really, let's just say I didn't really think about wanting to do something like that. But anyway, this is what I do mostly. I do traditional art, and I also do some literature when it comes to art. And I updated it where, and yes, this is sort of a idea I had where, like, off the side, the Shadow Reaper, when he's not reaping the souls of the dead or helping them to pass on to a new life, he is the runner of he runs a small bakery called The Treats of Passion, and yes, it's somewhat kink related. No need to get into that just yet for this, because you could probably already see some of the challenge stuff and some of the inspirations. Anyway, so here are basically the prices I'm working with. So I tried doing my best in doing some coloring. I know that the full body part 1 doesn't have a whole lot of coloring inspiration I get, but but there's also a bunch of colors over here, and yes, it is pretty dark, I realize, but you know, I promise it's not always like this. But anyway, so these are the prices for my traditional art. The headshot is just $5 on its own, half body $7.50, and full body $12.50, and they each kind of represent what it looks like when there's the sketch part, this is the inked part, just the inking, and then there's the color. So I kind of realized that charging for the sketch probably isn't really necessarily, I suppose one would say, worth it. I mean, I'm already charging for the headshot and the half body and the full body, so just for the sketch, you're only going to be charged for the headshot, half body, full body, whichever one it is that is selected by the customer. And right now, I don't have any slot limits, because I haven't really been asked a whole lot, but I probably would say, I will definitely be recording them down. I'll be writing them down so that if I do get customers, and when I do get customers, they will be recorded. I will do a first come first serve service, because that's normally how things go. And anyway, I did also reduce the prices for the inked and the coloring, because it definitely seemed a little bit much. So I reduced the inked to $2.50 and the coloring to $7.50. So I reduced them by about $5 each, because I felt like that was a bit fair. And I also I still keep the background prices the same. So the simple, it just adds $2.50, and the complex background just adds $5. What do I mean by simple? I kind of mean more like just like 1 or 2 colors, or maybe a shape. That's kind of what I define as a simple background. A complex background to me is sort of like having an actual background. Like, is there a forest? Is it going to be like a house with a bunch of things in it? Is it going to be like something like that? Are there going to be mountains? Things such as that. So that's what I'm going to have for my prices for my traditional art. I also have up here showing off my literature. I mean, I can't necessarily show what it is I do for literature, although I probably could have if I really thought about it, but I didn't. Anyway, so these are the prices for my literature. I also do that. Here I show that 3 pages is about $15, 5 pages is about $35, and 7 pages is about $50, and anything beyond 7 pages is going to be $5 per page. So that is what I have for the commissioning sheet. Further down, I'm going to be showing my guidelines. They are as they follow. I will do certain kinks. I am also willing to do not safe for work, although I probably won't be showing it on some certain art websites, like this one, for example, because they actually took down some of my not safe for work arts because it was against their policy, and I'm not going to be showing it on YouTube, that's for certain, because we all know how that ended last time. Even when they are censored, YouTube's just going to be like, nah, that's a penis, so get that out of here. So it's like, yeah, okay. Anyway, so and again, no, it wasn't me being a porn star. That's not why I was suspended. It was just literally me playing gay, furry visual novels, okay? That's where the penises came from. And it was not me doing porn. It was just me literally playing a game. Anyway, so here are the guidelines. I'm willing to do these kinks. I'm willing to do fat. I'm willing to do muscles. Willing to do not safe for work and safe for work. Feeding, vor, normal. Feeling. Some more kinks that I also will not say. I will not do these, though. I will not do any of the rape. I will not do the piss or shit, because I was actually asked to do something akin to that where, it just was not. I'm not going to explain the whole situation. I think you already understand how it is that I already feel about it. I just can't. I'm also not going to do dick, vor, incest, or underage characters. I feel like it kind of goes without saying, if you're going to be mixing underage characters and kinks, pretty sure it's obvious that ain't okay. I shouldn't have to say it, but for some reason people just don't seem to get the idea. But here are some more of my traditional artworks. Here is just like a big fat Baloo with that smile, but I actually use one of the Jungle Book 2 clips, smiles, to just be an inspiration for this, because it'd just be so fun. I mean, come on. How could I not like this? Here's another one where there was an inspiration from another artist by Sleepless1037 on Twitter, and it was sort of his version where with ink sands and error sands being a coupling, and I just kind of decided to make a whole nother thing about it, and this was the result. And then here was some recent work where I actually was basing this off of one of the characters for Nightcrest comics, and this is Professor Lone Bullet, and let's just say maybe I was being a bit flirty with him, so you know. And this is the comic that came out of it for the second part of the disciplining. Just to continue further on, I completely forgot to color in the belching for that part. I normally do that, but, you know. Anyway, this is an example of my vor, and also an example of my comic, which also leads me to the next part. So, comics will be based on 50% of the price for headshots, half-body, full-body images that are used, and it also kind of adds up to, like, how often they appear in the comic. So they will be reduced by 50%, but, like, in the previous comic, let's just say, since this is 2 headshots, basically, it's going to be the full price of the full headshot price, because it shows up twice, and there's the discount of 50%. This is also technically a half body, so it would be for 50% of the half body to be included in the price if you want a comic from me. And another thing that it also says right here, for any extra characters that are featured in the comic, so I have the regular price limited to 1 person, but for every extra person, it's going to be $5. So, say for in this comic, there is a second person, which is me, by the way. Because there is a second person, and you ask for 2 people in the same comic, they will only be charged the extra $5 the first time. So, for here, it counts, but in this part, it does not, because this character is already featured. But if there is another character, then that's another $5. So, that's basically how it works. And this tweet was also another opportunity to show some more traditional art and some also normal traditional art, actually. So this was an art trade I had with a friend of their character. I don't quite remember their name, actually, but he was cute. And I just decided to draw him blepping a little bit because he was adorable. But basically, but this is a character that belongs to Random the Wolfski, a good friend of mine. So I will be talking about whenever I mention someone, I will also be trying to feature their account links in the description below of their Twitter. This one is actually an inspiration I had from I mean, I know it's not necessarily the greatest, but it was sort of like me kind of mixing in a little bit of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Warhammer 2. This was actually the thumbnail I had for my previous Heralds of Ariel campaign, And it was kind of based off the idea that I was watching this video by Milk and Cookies TFW, who was doing a Warhammer battle that was called, that he titled the video Awaken My Wood. And I was like, oh no, how about I take it a step further and literally make the Twilight Sisters be like the Pillar Men? Because let's be real now, they definitely would fit that role perfectly. And I also kind of featured me because there had to be a third member. And, I know the poses aren't necessarily that fantastic, but it was my first time thinking of the idea, and I worked with it as best I could. Then here's some more, technically normal, but also just kind of like a little bit of gore, where, this is in reference to the moment where the MC just stabs, Kato in the back, and then also repeatedly, but I was like, hold on now, this is me here we're talking about, so why don't we take it a step further there, girl? And so I did, and I basically decided to just bite into his flesh as if I were a vampire, as the Queen of Adastra. That's basically what this outfit is based on, and also the outfit in my profile picture for YouTube. It was basically just me as the Queen of Adastra. Even though technically, I am a guy, it's just I like the title of being queen, and technically being with Amicus, I would technically be the Empress, but I just like the title Queen, you know? I just prefer it better. The next one I have is actually of Oichi, and this is actually probably one of my favorite works, and Oichi is probably my favorite character in Sengoku Basara, which is an anime I would consider sort of meh. I also kind of thought about reviewing it a little bit, but I didn't know exactly how about I would do it. But I did want to draw Oichi a little bit because she was one of my favorite characters due to the fact that she had so much tragedy surrounded around her, due to the fact that she had to deal with the choice of either fighting for her husband, Asai Nagamasa, or fighting for her brother, Oda Nobunaga. And then after her husband was killed by her brother, she had to serve him until Oda Nobunaga just shoots her in the face. That's how the anime put it, even though that's not exactly how she died. She died in a fire that was set by Toyotomi Hideyoshi when he was fighting in basically a civil war against I can't quite remember his name, but he also they all really liked Oichi basically, and but she died in the fire next to her second husband basically, because she was kind of done with the whole I'm not running away from my husband this time. I'm just kind of done with the fact that I have to deal with my husband's dying basically. So she was assumed dead in that fire. And then here are just some more examples of my traditional art. This was based on how I thought of myself as Sniper from Dota 2. Whenever I'm just kind of in my schoolgirl outfit. I mean, in all actuality, I actually think of myself as Tosakarin, but this was basically the way where I could be like, how about I just feature it with me? Just sort of a same sort of schoolgirl attire, but, still being badass sniper and all that, which is definitely how I feel in League of Legends, if I'm being perfectly honest, when I play Caitlyn. Here is actually a commission that was made for a friend. His Twitter name is 543. The 5 and the 3 are actually spelled out. The 4 is just kind of the number 4, in case you don't know. But basically here is just him as his orc D&D character, and this is just how he is attired, so that's basically what that one's about. This is another comic where I just kind of did it for fun for another friend. His name is Sandy Scales. That is a lot of references of people I'm going to be doing. Basically a sort of a Christmas thing where I'm just with his Santa Shark character Koa, who's dressed up for the season, and he had a little bit of a booth, a kissing booth, but the price was 1 cookie, and of course I had plenty of cookies for all the kisses. And then here is just another Adastra reference where I may have indulged the my beloved emperor a little bit, and yes, I called it "The Queen Spoils Her Emperor." To which I actually had a comment on DA where somebody was like, "But isn't Amicus gay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but that doesn't mean I can't call myself a queen. He probably didn't know I was, that I was male and that I just call myself queen. Makes sense. But then I also have a literature example where this doesn't necessarily go into kinky territory. It's just more like a romantic thing with a reader X sans sort of story. So the link is going to be there. I'm probably going to put the link in the description as well. But yeah, that's going to be a lot of links to put in the description. And then there's just one more final thing I want to be able to advertise, and that is my Ko-fi. If I can... Oh, hold on one second. I really hate when this happens. Anyway, so, here is my Ko-fi page. I actually had to make a second one because, similar problems to, my first YouTube channel. I didn't realize, that it said I couldn't do 18 and up content, even though I did put not safe for work stuff and 18 and up content. They're just like, oh yeah, we're gonna have those things, but you're not allowed to actually do those things, which is just confusing. It's like, why YouTube and Ko-fi do you do that? It just doesn't make any sense. Currently, there hasn't really been anybody who has given support, but this is the link, Shadowed Reaper Commissions Open. Ko-fi.com/Shadowed Reaper Commissions Open, sorry. But here you can also give a little bit of support, which if you do, you donate $3, or basically you can just donate however much you want. For each and every coffee that you give, you can also, through it, you can also just like send a little personal message, and it's just going to be very nice and sweet for me to receive. Here you could also see my gallery as well as some posts, and yeah, that's basically just another added bonus to like my Ko-fi. I would also highly recommend just following it because I will be posting stuff here as well. I haven't really been posting some of the videos like for Dragon Age Inquisition or Heralds of Ariel though, because I'm a little bit late on posting the first episode of those videos. But yeah, that's basically what that is about. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to advertise. I advertise my commissions and I advertise my Ko-fi. And that's pretty much all I have to advertise, so that'll pretty much be everything. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I also hope to see you at the stream at, again, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Probably 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, however that works. But that is all the information I have to let you know. So anyway, that is all. And until next time, rest in peace. Bye!